I get to introduce this ball of fire.
Yes,
has like the energy to maximize all of us in here, okay? So, without further ado, can y'all please clap it up collectively for Cody? You're welcome. And we're staying safe too.
I love it.
Little thieves action there. You know, we gotta keep the germs down for everybody. Shay, awesome. Love you, girl. Amazing. Tammy.
Yes.
Holy hell, girl. That's a lot. You know?
Like my struggle.
You know, something that's really, truly amazing. Before I get going and introduce who I am, I just wanna take a second and recognize that there is this beautiful thing that happens with all of us. And it's that it doesn't matter what you've done, what you've gone through, or where you've been. We've all been lost at some point, and we've all circled back. And then we've all gotten the blessing, play on words. We've all gotten the blessing to actually choose ourselves again and again and again.
Yes.
We get these experiences that come in, and we think we're good. We're like, we rocked it. We got it. I crushed that life thing. And I came out on the other side, and then life comes back in, and it's like, no, hey, try again. And you're like, oh yeah, there I am. Oh, hi. And you get to choose yourself over and over and over again. And so I just want to congratulate the women who came before me and the women who have come after me for this day. I see you. I love you. You're beautiful. I see how you keep choosing yourselves over and over again. And it's inspiring and beautiful. And, you know, you're sharing your shit today. So rock out, girls. That being said, thank you, Jessica, for today and this platform.
Thank you, my love, Bob.
And for inviting me. And I love that I was only here for a few minutes and only met some of these people, and they already have seen the fire within.
Oh my gosh, we love it. We need that energy. That's what attracted me to y'all. So I need that energy in her.
With that being said, I am Cody Wasial with Soul Sprout, speaking to the seeds of your soul and igniting the fire within. Go figure. I'm a transformational life coach. I also do a movement modality of healing and wellness called Transcendence. It's really awesome. We take 10 phases, and we bring you through these beautiful movements where we're able to take our body and use our temple as a way of healing. So we work out the kinks and all the stuff that's stuck in there. And that's who I am and where I got today. And how I got here is vastly different than how all you guys got here. But it's interesting because I actually never thought I needed healing. And that could be just as dangerous. Because I grew up in a home with a mom and a dad who loved me, who supported me. One would say I probably had it pretty easy. You know, my parents worked really hard. I was home alone a lot, super cool. I got the whole place to myself and a giant chore list. Really don't like dusting. You know, but something magical happened as I got older. I got into this beautiful relationship with this guy, and things were going fantastic, and then they weren't. And he was just struggling with a little bit of depression and anxiety and things, and my caretaker came in, and I was like, it's okay. If we haven't been to a shaman in the jungle, we have not tried everything. You're not different than anybody else. There's something out there that will help you. Just watch. And I went and I guinea pigged my butt all over town. I went to drum circles, I went to acupuncture, I went to healing energy things, Reiki, IET, you name it, I tried it. And I was like, look, I feel fantastic. This one definitely worked. You should go try this one. It's gonna heal you. You're gonna be fine. Just go to this one. And the mother started to come out of me. Nobody wants to be in a romantic relationship with their mother. So that whole side of the relationship went down the hole.
Some do, though. Some do. They want that motherly.
I don't think that's healthy, Jess.
It's not.
So the best part about this relationship was actually I went out trying to go heal someone else. And I ended up healing myself, and I didn't know that I needed it. I didn't know that I was lost. I didn't know that I wasn't being me. I had no idea that I had just been whatever it was that the situation needed me to be. I was a chameleon. I could be anything. I could be anyone. Who do you want me to be? Except there was this beautiful gift inside that was just like, girl, I mean, like, you know, You should probably be the thing you were sent here for. That's why Jesus put you here. And so these healings that were happening for me, they were creating this space. He called off the wedding. A few months later, he's like, hey, I can't do this. I'm devastated. I'm thinking like, life is over. I cannot survive without you. Hilarious. I definitely can. Actually, I'd be better. Anyway, but it's really, I have such an incredible gratitude for that situation because it actually brought me to a place where I could look at myself in the mirror. And I started to be like, wow, look at all these things that like you didn't know that were there. Now, I was also simultaneously running a business. It was called Cody's Cozy Pals. It was a doggy daycare, boarding, and animal care facility. I ran it for 15 years, and I sold it 2 years ago.
Aww.
So, yeah, thank you. I served over 4,000 clients in the Capital District over 15 years. I had over 150 workers in the 15 years that I ran this business.
Wow.
And I started to not love it anymore. And it wasn't that I didn't love the people or the clients, but I felt trapped. I felt trapped in my own creation. What?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It is.
I know. So I started to resent my workers because they could quit. They're like, yeah, I'm out. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why am I stuck here? Why do you get to go? This is nonsense. And I was like, ugh. And I was like, well, let's look at that for a second. Why are you angry at them for leaving? Seems a little weird. So I started to really pay attention to what was going on. Why was I so angry? It was because they had freedom. They had freedom I thought I didn't have. But I had it. But choices had to be made to become free again. And those choices were kind of terrifying. And my little girl came up and she's like, you can't leave this business. You've worked 15 years to get where you are. You are an expert in your field. You have dominated this industry. Your business is at $500,000 a year. I didn't actually make that. The overhead was a lot, but we'll just say that's awesome. I built that. Great, cool. And the inside of me was like, you don't know how to do anything else. How could you possibly help anybody else? What is it that you possibly think you could do for people? You picked up dog poop for 15 years. What are you gonna do? And I was like, oh wow, this is serious stuff. I didn't, these two voices, they were not getting along. They weren't. But I was still cultivating that spirit guidance, that inner guidance, all that beautiful stuff. And I'm like, wow, but something's just pulling at me. It's like, you're meant to do more. You're meant to go out, And I'm like, yeah, but I don't even like people. I don't even like humans. If they don't have hair and a tail, I'm not helping. I'm not doing it. It's like, no, really, you can help them. I'm like, no, I can't. Yes, you can. You have everything you need. I'm like, no, I only have done anything with animals. I don't. What I started to realize, though, is that all my years with the animals, they were mirroring everything that I needed to heal, everything that their owners needed to heal. All their owners, I wasn't training you. Oh, sorry, guys. I wasn't training your dog. I was training you. The joke's over. I was training the people to see something that they weren't seeing. Why is my dog acting this way? Why is my dog being this way? Why is my dog so needy? Why does my dog have anxiety? Why does my dog not like kids? Why does my dog not like men? I don't know. Do you like men? Have you had some trauma there? Mm-hmm. Why does your dog want to eat then? I don't know. How are you feeling vibrationally? Let's talk about it. Why does my dog go after kids? Did you lose your kid? Was there something, grief? Was there some grief? Was there something there that causes that when children are around you that your dog can sense? Man, animals are crazy sensitive.
Yeah.
And they're there for us, and they show us beautiful, amazing things about ourselves. And so I realized that I've actually been helping people this whole time. I was like, oh, okay. I was helping the people. Okay, you just tricked me. You tricked me because you put the dogs there first so I wouldn't notice. Very, very slick. And it was really awesome, and I started to see that. And I was like, okay, I could see how I could maybe help. So I was sitting by the pond one day at the crossings, and I was like, all right, here's this calling, there's this longing, this discontent. I'm going to jump. I don't know where though, but I'm going somewhere. And this little duck comes by and he starts swimming and he goes down really deep. He goes down real deep and he pops his little flippers up. And I'm like, wow, he's going for something really good. Like whatever he's eating down there, it's tasty. And all of a sudden, I have no idea what duck butts have to do with this inspirational moment, but this is what happened. Out loud, I say, I have to sell my business. I looked at the duck popped his head up, he looked at me, I went, that was deep. And I was like, wow, that felt really amazing. I said it out loud.
Wow.
I said it out loud. I felt 20 pounds lighter. And I was like, okay, all right, here we go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sell my business. And the moment, and this is the thing, right, that you get that moment where you're like, yes! And then that little voice immediately goes, are you out of your mind? And I looked at it and I went, yeah, I'm all done with you. And I was ready to embrace being out of my mind, out of my comfort zone, because comfort's where you go to die. And I'm about to live, and I'm going to live the life I was meant to live. So now, how does one sell a business? I have no idea. I've never done that before. Oh, okay. No problem. Well, the good news is I have like all these like angels and guides and things that really show up creepy sometimes. So I'm laying in bed and I'm like, okay, Jesus, angels, guides, like forces of creator, whoever, I've got to sell my business. You heard it today with the duck. Now how? Right? Because we don't always need to know how. We just need to take the first step that gets us there. So I took the first step, and I told this voice to take a hike. My second step was now the step, like actually selling it. And all of a sudden, in the middle of my bedroom, there's this voice. I live alone. It says, call Jen. And I'm like, oh gosh. Hello? Hello, is there anybody in here? There wasn't. And I was like, okay, well, call Jen. I'm like, be specific, like, I mean, Jen's kind of a common name. And all of a sudden, I just got this wave of, it was one of the women that had worked for me before. And she had worked for the state, and she had started a pet sitting business on the side while she was working for me. I said, hey, it's in competition, so you kind of got to do your thing. And we left, amicably. And it was her that they were talking about. So I text her. This is where things get really weird. I text her, and I say, Jen, hey, can we talk tomorrow? She goes, this is so strange. She goes, I was watching TV. I said, well, that's not very strange, Jen. She goes, no, but the little boy's name is Cody, and they were just yelling out his name. I'm like, so you mean these invisible guides were yelling Jen in my bedroom, and they were yelling Cody in your living room?
They will do it.
I was like, you can't make this up. So I'm either completely insane, or this is legit. I went with this is legit because you just get used to the voices after a while. It's good. So the voices led me to Jen. I had a conversation with Jen the next day. Turns out her husband and her were interested in buying my business. I said, hey, what are you doing? Da-da-da. She's like, oh, we're thinking about opening up something like you have. I said, well, how about you just buy one that's already ready? She goes, wow, really? Yeah. So 6 months later, they're taking over the operation, and I'm free. And just before COVID, we signed the papers, and they officially took over. It is. That's exciting. Except I still have no idea what I'm doing. So now business is on its way out. Cody's over here going, I have no idea what I'm going to do next, because I can do anything and be everything. That's just as bad. That's like knowing... Yeah, it's just too many options or too few options. I think they're both equally struggling. So I was like, okay, well, if you could be anything, what do you want to be? And this woman calls me, and I had done those, the mind movie things where like it's an app, and you can get in there and you can like work on your mindset, practice these different things. So I signed on to one of those, and I'm like, cool, $400 later for something I'm never going to touch. I did one course. I was like, yeah, I rocked it. I'm done. Well, I forget about this thing, And this woman calls. She goes, "Hi, this is so-and-so from the Dreamgirl Blah." And I hung up. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Free vacation, my butt. Nothing's free, lady." I'm like, "Who is this girl coming up?" She calls back. She goes, "Oh, we got disconnected." I'm like, "No, I hung up on you." She's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because nothing's for free." She goes, "No, you already paid for this. This is a complimentary ticket." I was like, "Oh, all right, great. This is a complimentary ticket. For where?" She goes, "Dream Builder Live in California." I said, "When?" She goes, "January." I said, "I'll be there." January, New York, January, California. I mean,
Hello.
you didn't have to twist my arm.
At all.
So I go to the Dream Builder Live event. This woman, Mary Morrissey, no idea who she is, but she's wonderful, by the way. Yeah. And I don't know who she is, but I walk through the doors, and these people are dancing. And I'm like, what cult bull poopy did I just walk into? These people are dancing, and they are singing, and they are moving in unison. Somebody's getting sacrificed. This isn't good. So, the other side of me went, "What else are you going to do? You're here." I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll go sit." So I go sit, and they're dancing around me, and I'm just like, "Okay, that's great, guys." And what ended up happening is this guy gets on stage, and he says, "You're probably thinking this is a cult, or this is a..." I'm like, he read my mind, this is magic. Yes, okay, he gets me, all right. Turns out it was Mary's son. And she gets on stage, and she starts speaking, and she brings this poise and this wisdom and this air about her where you feel a hug, you feel her love, you feel her groundedness, you feel her playfulness, but you feel her wise woman. I mean, all the things. And she starts talking, and she's talking about how this is a thing, and that's a thing, and notice what you're noticing, and da-da-da-da. And these are all the things of successful people. And this is when you're like awakened, this is what these people do. I'm like, those are things I've been doing them my whole life. I'm like, well, if you've been doing these your whole life, imagine what you could do with them now that you have the awareness to the tools that you already had that you didn't know you had because you didn't know they were a thing. I was like, oh, I'm her. She's me. That's what I'm supposed to do. And so I got to California not knowing what I was going to do. I was selling my business with no idea what I was going to do, and I followed this feeling. And this is the thing, right? This is, there's teaching points in this talk, and I'm hoping you can grab them, and if you can't, message me later. But the teaching points in these are, you have these little intuitive moments, these little pulls, these little feelings, this little gut intuition. That's your first line of defense. It's your first everything. It's your first yes, yes. It's these little nudges that are moving you towards the thing that makes you great, that makes you you. And every time we follow them, we're brought somewhere that helps us. And so here I was in California, and this woman was speaking to my soul. And she put all the puzzle pieces for me together. I was like, wow, okay, cool. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to be a transformational life coach. And I'm going to do public speaking and stuff. Sounds great. So I become certified, everything's going wonderful. I get home and I have no idea what I'm going to do, and business money's running out, and I'm going to file bankruptcy. And I don't know how I can feed my dogs, which, by the way, is really a problem. They're very hungry, especially the Mastiff. Oh, gosh. That's the 4 o'clock in the morning, he's like, oh, I'm like, oh, dear. He's like, please, I'm dying. I'm like, no, you're not. You actually just ate like 8 hours ago. You're fine. Do you know they fast in the wild? I don't know why you're crying at me. It's his first time on Earth. It's okay. He's a new soul, and he just figured out there's food. I'm okay, buddy. I got you. All the food you want. So it got scary, and what I noticed about myself was that these practices, meditation, energy work, listening to your intuitive self, allowing that divine energy to come through, you surrender to yourself. Tammy had said, it's me versus me. That's the understatement
every day,
of
all
the century.
day.
It is. It's always you versus you, and what it is that you're going to do and how that's going to come into play. And as I sat on the floor with my knees bent, and I cried to the universe, I cried to Creator, I cried to myself. And I was like, okay, I've got nothing, except I have everything. Because I chose me.
Amen. Woo!
And And so the trick is, if you keep choosing you get to be happy, you get to be healthy, you get to enjoy life, you get to see beautiful gifts in everything. And when you raise your awareness and you are open to everything and everyone, except for that negative energy stuff, get yourself some obsidian. Except for that, but when you're open to everything else, life is beautiful. It is heaven on earth. It is whatever you make it to be. And you have that choice in every moment, in every interaction with someone, small or big. You know, I'll wrap it up with this tiny, cool little story. I was on Match.com recently. I was like, I changed it to enough in here. Let's see what happens.
You gotta put it out there.
Because you change in here, everything changes out there. So I should definitely get better feedback. And you don't know unless you practice. Life is practice, so you just get out there. And I'm like, Cody, this is a horrible idea. I'm like, yeah, but isn't it going to be fun? Like, okay, yeah, it's going to be fun. But anyway, you know how they have the parameters of age, right? You know, I'm 39, cool. I feel like I'm 27, great. It doesn't matter to anybody. Match doesn't care either. You put the parameters on there, like, here's a 58-year-old. I'm like,
not quite there yet.
Like, you know, I love everybody, but just maybe not romantically like that, you know? My dad's, you know,
Don't knock out sugar daddies.
It's all you, Tammy. But this man messaged me, and he was older. But he said, you know, your smile, and this was the difference. This was the feedback that I got from these experiences, was that the men that were actually messaging me now were more open to communication. They were more open to being vulnerable about how they felt. They were using different words and different language, and this was something that was mirrored back to me just through their messages. I was like, wow, this is really amazing. Even if none of these work out, the feedback is fantastic. So thanks, guys. But this one guy, he said, you know, your smile is it just really lit me up. And I wrote what it would sound like to me. I was like, wow, I'm not interested in you romantically, but I would love to hear that, because maybe it'll be my workout song. I mean, I'm going to be pretty famous doing inspirational stuff all over the world.
Honey, put it out there.
Okay?
Yes.
Like, if you have a stage, you can put my name on it and I'll get there. So I was like, okay, you know, and so he's like, wow, really? And I was like, yeah. And so this person, see, because it's not just about always healing ourselves fully, because when we're healed, then we're a balanced, beautiful place for other people to heal.
Yep.
And the men are suffering too. You know, yes, women have suffered, but men have suffered too, because how the hell do you think they got there? To the point where they made the women suffer.
Yep.
And a well-balanced female energy knows that her place is to love everything and create that safety for masculine and feminine to thrive.
That is the whole fact.
And women have responsibilities too. And I'm noticing that these men, like, these women are not talking to them, they're not responding, because they're not confident in themselves to respond in any manner, shape, or form. So the feedback that the men are getting is poop.
Yep.
So I say, hey, I'd really love to hear that. And he was like, wow, really? I'm like, yeah, really. I do, because I see you. I see you for who you are, what you just shared, and how that was probably scary. Because telling someone you don't know that you thought their smile did something that inspired you, you know, 4 years ago I might have been like, dude, that's creepy, man. But today I'm like, that's beautiful.
It really is.
That's beautiful. And he sent it to me, and this most amazing thing happened. Out of the tone and the way he organized this came words out of my soul, and I sang to his music. And I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? Wow. I'm like, that shit was pretty. That was really pretty. And I was like, wow, that was so amazing. And I got so giddy and excited, because I was like, this is it! This is the key to life! I got it. It's right here. It's in these tiny little moments where you write a song with a stranger, because you just honored them for who they were, and they honored you for who you were, and you weren't so like, well, I don't really want to be with you, so I can't, so I mean, like, ew, right? Because you're just open, and it was awesome. So that's the gift of life. It's in the little things. It's in the little magic moments. So don't ever underestimate that tiny moment that you're going to get with somebody, that if you can shift in here and really look at why you feel a certain way and move into being more supportive of the actual whole picture, magic happens. We are the magic.
Amen for that. Woo! Yes, we are.
So that's a wrap, friends. I do hope that you enjoyed all those really weird stories. If you're hearing voices, don't worry, it's okay. Call a friend, or probably one that's already spiritual, they'll understand. And if you are looking for a one-on-one life coach, or someone to come speak at your events, or you are looking for someone who you can join an interesting group with and have heart-centered conversations, or you're just feeling weird about life right now and you don't know where you're going, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, all of you, and I'm here for you guys. And, soulsproutspeaks.com is my website. Soul Sprout Speaks on Instagram. Soul Sprout Speaks on Facebook, because why not keep it all uniform? It's good for marketing, I'm told. Just reach out. You're not alone. You are loved. You're supported, and there is always a way. And if my words don't resonate, somebody else's will, if you're open to them. So. And I get the pleasure of introducing the next lady, Barbella.